Shalom, Yashrala. This your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for your ark and pushing this truth and sincerity in the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So real quick, I want to touch on this lesson real quick, dealing with so-called mental illness and things like that, because it's like you hear a lot of this talk going on now about, with these mass shooters and mental illness, with the LGBTQ community or whatnot. They have mental illness situations going on to where they're like, well, they feel like this on the inside, they'll say, oh, I was born a little boy, but I feel like a little girl on the inside or whatnot. But then you also see that it's leading to depression, mental illness, and all these different things, But nevertheless, and a lot of this is actually a scapegoat. They just try to put this mental illness on any and everybody. Oh, they suffer from depression. Well, depression is like a normal thing, If you, like let's just say you're a kid, right? You grow up with a pet fish or a dog, right? And your dog dies or some shit like that. You're gonna be depressed. You're gonna be sad about that, For you to just keep going on in life like nothing happened, something a little weird about that, or as a young child or even as an adult, your parent dies, you're going to feel a little certain way about that, But nevertheless, in this new society they got going on, it's just like they promote all the wickedness in this society, They promote everything upside down and inside out, They have everything backwards. They exalt wickedness, all right, and then they put down righteousness, They exalt the lies and they put down the truth, all right? So this is the problem, a lot of people knock the Bible in a way that the Most High have things set up, but that's the way to a prosperous righteous life. And when I say prosperous, I mean in a sense of in a total sense of prosperity, not just financially, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, loving yourself like you love your neighbor, and then vice versa, loving your neighbor like you love yourself. First of all, if you're loving your neighbor like you love yourself and treating your neighbor like yourself, you know what I'm saying, this isn't gonna perpetuate how do I say, good relationships amongst people, But if everybody was just fucking everybody over, obviously you see where that gets us right now, But nevertheless, and then also loving yourself that way, if you're not over here doing things, destroying yourself, like you would, you wouldn't do to your neighbor, you would treat your own self even better, But nevertheless, what's promoted in this society is the opposite of all these things, Oh, fuck the other person. Get whatever you can get. Make sure you get your bag. Make sure you take care of yours. Make sure you get yours. Don't worry about them. That's their business, And just, going against the things that's written in the scriptures as far as law, But nevertheless, there's a, how do I say, there's pretty much an adverse chain reaction that goes along with all of these things, all right? What people don't realize is like you basically got one or two ways of living, all right? You can follow the law, statutes, commandments, do the Most High's will, all right? And we know according to the scriptures that really only the Israelites can do that, because those are the people that was given the law and they had the covenant with the Most High. But nevertheless, we speaking to our people first and foremost. But nevertheless, you can follow after the Most High and follow his law, statutes, commandments, all right? Or you could be a damn reprobate, all right? And they have a term about that modern days today. It says, do thou wilt, all right? Do your own, YOLO, you only live once, and do your own will, meaning, you only live once. It's like, yo, man, this is your only life. You're not going to come back reincarnated. You're not going to get no judgment. This is it. Live it up, and then also going into do thou wilt, not the will of the Most High, not what he has for you, not living the way he has prescribed for you, but living the way that you want to do it, whatever you think of in your own mind, or listening to the collective group. You're not supposed to follow the multitude to do wickedness, all right? But nevertheless, this is what's permeating in this here society today. That's what's going on now, all right? But nevertheless, I just wanted to read this quick scripture real quick. I'm gonna break at work real quick, but I just wanted to bring this here out because as I was listening to something a little earlier today, and this is what they keep echoing is, well, it's mental illness, and we got to take this serious, and sometimes we got to be more about this. We need to talk to a therapist. Like, nah, maybe you just need to start taking responsibility for your actions, man. You can't just keep doing a bunch of wickedness and expect to get a good outcome, man. You can't go on in life, go get a new car and go get a new house and not pay the mortgage or your car note and expect to keep the shit, man. All right, you can't go get a brand new car and start putting the wrong kind of fluids in the wrong places and expect your car to run well, all right? But in this society, it's pampering people to do whatever they want to do and don't worry about the consequences or the repercussions, man. And whatever the consequences and the repercussions are, you the victim. It's always somebody else's fault. You don't have to take responsibilities for the things that you're doing. And this is corrupting and destroying the household, not just the household, the whole society, Think of another scenario about what, nowadays, somebody brought this up as a good evaluation, you know. Now, it's not good to have an abortion to begin with, but nevertheless, you know, if women can go and be able to have an abortion without the say-so of a man, because it's her right and she has the right to do whatever she wants to do with her body, if she can just wake up and say, I don't want to take responsibility of this and go have an abortion without no say-so of the man, then why can't the man just say, well, I don't want to have the responsibility just like the woman and not have to pay for the child, you know? But yet and still, they would say that that's wickedness, you know? Like, well, but y'all talking about being inclusive, equality, and all these things, but that's not being equal, you know? You're creating these fallacies here to where, and then you're wondering why you have this society of men not wanting to get with women, women getting with men just as a come up financially, you know? Then the baby's not getting the love in the household and not having a stable household upbringing with both parents, and you wonder why they run around like little monsters, you know? This is what they're promoting instead of, look, you're supposed to be, you know, the husband's supposed to be with their wives. They supposed to just stay together, man. A woman ain't really supposed to have another man unless, you know, maybe her husband dies or something like that, man. All right, they're supposed to stay together and stick it out, man. All right, but that's not what's being promoted. But then they wonder why, you know, in another scenario, the women over here can dress however they want to. You know, they got the freedom. All right, but you look at these Islamic countries where these women are dressed up in their full garb and stuff like that, you know, and they had women separated from the men, but they like to say that's being misogynistic. But when you look at the rape rate over there and the divorce rate over there is nowhere near in comparison to over here in America, you know. So they'll sit there and criticize how those women are living, but they'll be over here complaining about the divorce rate and they can't find no good man. Their relationships don't last, you know. But the proof is in the pudding, man. The things that you're doing is not giving you a good outcome. All right, you're the one over here doing this wickedness, but you expecting to get a good outcome, and when you don't, you blaming somebody else, you know. Oh, it's their fault, this fault, their fault that, you know, we don't have a good relationship because it's his fault, this and that, he ain't a good man. But you got these unrealistic expectations and you want to usurp authority over your man and rule over your man. It's not going to work out like that, man. This is what you have designed in your mind. So, you know, I'm going to go into this here scripture, which is going to go into that, you know. You want to be thinking about some off-branded shit, you know, not going according to the scriptures, then you're going to be basically, you know, you going down a damn train track that's, you know, the track is not complete. You know, you're going to just wind up going off the cliff, you know, and you're going at full speed. But people don't realize that. Then they want to blame everybody else, you know. I know people right now, like, you know, in their relationship right now where, you know, it's a husband and a wife, you know what I'm saying? And the wife is just basically going crazy because she's living in a society where they're promoting women and this and that. And she's trying to find justification with her. Don't you think this is right or that's right? Blah, blah, blah. Like, look, y'all supposed to stick it out through thick and thin. You know, you go back to these older people who's been married for 40, 50 years. Ask them how their relationship and their road went. It wasn't always smooth and everything was smooth sailing. They went through rough patches, but they stuck it out. You know, y'all over here straining at gnats and falling out over some little bum shit because somebody done prepped your mind to some wickedness and you believe that that shit is true. All right. But nevertheless, you know, and ultimately saying that to say this, the Most High will ultimately give you over to believing in some dumb shit, and that'll just, you know, ultimately destroy your ass, you know, just like what we're going to read here. You know, you think that, you know, this, again, touching on these, the alphabet group people, you know, when you start doing some perverse shit like that, you think you're going to find happiness, but it's going to lead you down to a road. And as you see the outcome, statistically, these people, the suicide rate is skyrocketing among them. Why? Because they're going through all this confusion, trying to cover up something that they think is missing in their life, but they trying to get it some kind of other way. You know, it's like trying to find happiness in drugs. You know, if you think you can only be happy by using some drugs, you know, and every time you inject yourself with these drugs, you think you're getting happy, but you're not. You're going to just ultimately overdose and kill yourself off of this shit. You slowly killing yourself to begin with. You know, it's the same thing. All right. And when you realize that you know, like let's say you're using a drug situation, you don't have your drugs and you start having withdrawals, and now you're feeling sick and all kind of fucked up, you know? And this was lead these people to doing these things because they believe that they can do this here wickedness and get away with it. But that's, you still have to live according to these guidelines, you know? Just like the speed limit here in America, man. You see the signs posted, speed limit 45 miles an hour. There's nobody in your car telling you you have to go 45 miles an hour, man. If you wanted to go do the dash in your car, man, you can go do the dash in your car in a 45 mile an hour zone. But you can't be mad if you get a damn outrageous speeding ticket. They take your license or you wreck your car and kill somebody or kill yourself, man. All right. But nevertheless, that's because you have to follow and abide by those things. But if you want to live wickedly and go contrary to that, all right, then you have to take those responsibilities. All right. So I'm going to just read through this real quick. This is Romans 1. I'm going to start at verse 16. It says, "For I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach." All right. "For it is the power of the Most High unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and then to the Greek." All right. So, you know, not being ashamed of this here gospel, you know, oh, y'all follow those old traditional ways. Yeah, because there's life in that. You know, look at the ways you live in. There ain't no life in that, man. You know, oh, women can dress however they want to dress. Well, how's that working out for them health-wise? How's that working out for you with, how you say, your women going out cheating and so on and so forth? You know, men just lusting after her all day. All right. Verse 17, "For therein is the righteousness of the Most High revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, the just shall live by faith. You know, hey, if you have faith, you believe in all of this stuff, man, and you actually walk by these ways, you'll understand, man. But yo, these people, a lot of these people don't have faith and believe in this, but then, and they don't even admit that their lives are in shambles. This is why they out here drinking and doing drugs all the damn time, to try to escape the reality of the hell that they're living in. Of course, we in captivity, we're gonna be in hell, but a lot of this shit people are doing to their own self, like social media, you know? People get on these social medias and create these avatars and these fake lives, but then they constantly trying to strive to fit that mold that they've created and can't ever attain that mold that they created, you know, because this is a fallacy. This is something they created, man. All right? It's a false image. Verse 18, for the wrath of the Most High is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who hold the truth and unrighteousness. So you're starting to believe into lies and things like that, man. You hold, it's a lot. It says they hold the truth and unrighteousness. All right, so the Most High tell you what's right and what's going on. A man should be, you know, leave his parents to cleave unto his wife, and the two flesh shall become one. You know, man should not lie down with mankind as he lieth down with womankind. You know, that's what's written in the scriptures. But nowadays they saying, oh, that's the old ways and blah blah blah, and all these people, this is natural, so on and so forth. Well, how come amongst these people that you're allowing to do this, you know, they all commit suicide? You know, that's like saying, look, this here roller coaster has been approved safe for all riders or whatever, whatnot, you know, but beforehand, you didn't have anybody dying at the damn theme park. Now that you open up the damn ride, the roller coaster now, you got like 100 people dying at the theme park a day. You wouldn't just look at the statistics and the fact to say, maybe this ride ain't so safe. We just now had an increase of 100 people dying at our theme park every single day since we've installed this ride and opened it up, and all 100 deaths are coming from this here ride. It's clear as evident, you know, in the facts that this is what's causing the deaths, man. But yet you want to stray from that and just say, oh, maybe these people are just dying regardless. You can't tie these two things to the each, you know. Verse 19, but because that which may be known of the Most High is manifest in them, for the Most High have showed it unto them. All right. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, but being understood by the things that are made, even the eternal power and Godhead, so that they're without excuse. So there's a lot of things in life that it's obvious, man. You know, how come, you know, people like the animals, they know how to reproduce. You don't have to teach a lion like this is wrong and so on and so forth. Two males not getting together, whatever, whatnot. You know, certain things like that, man. You can't do certain things. You can't live certain types of ways, you know. A lion can't walk through the jungle and be peaceful. You know what I'm saying? And become a vegetarian. He ain't going to survive very long, you know. He got to eat the required meal for him to keep moving along, you know. Certain small fish or small animals can't just decide one day he going to wake up and eat what his natural predator is, you know, because that ain't going to work out for him. He don't got the defenses, you know what I'm saying, or the offenses to take down his natural predator, all right? But nevertheless, this is what our society is doing nowadays. They're trying to live this fake facade and wondering why they're going crazy and bugging out in their minds. Verse 21, because when they knew the Most High, they glorified him not as the Most High, neither were they thankful, but became vain in their imagination, and their foolish hearts was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. It's a lot. They became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into the image made like unto corruptible man, and to birds, and to four-footed beasts, and to creeping things. It says, wherefore the Most High gave them up to uncleanliness, to the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves. But nevertheless, going back up a little bit further up, where it's talking about, you know, professing themselves to become wise, professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, you know, and the Most High darkened their hearts. Because, look, you want to keep believing in this fake shit, go ahead. You know, it's like these young kids growing up, you know, for us older people, it's easy for us to see this in this scenario, you know. For these younger kids growing up thinking that this rap bullshit is real, these people really selling these drugs and really doing all these murders and stuff like that. These kids want to believe that shit, that they actually are rapping about this shit on the internet or on music videos rapping about it, you know, they crime. That's not real. You know, if you want to believe WWF is real, I mean, that's on you, but you're just going to be duped, man. Stone Cold Steve Austin is not really running up in his boss's office and really whooping his ass like that, man. You can't really go to work and go beat your boss's ass and think you're going to get away with that shit, man. If you believe that, you in for a rude awakening, you know? It says, verse 26, for this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affections, for even their women did change the Salak. Verse 25, it says, Salak, give me 1 second. Salak. But nevertheless, going back to 25, it says, who worship the truth of the Most High, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forevermore. All right, because why? They're going off of what man's ideology is. Well, Well, this is what the scriptures say, but then, well, what do you feel? How do you feel? These kids feel like they was born in the wrong body, they're coming over all these new philosophies, but it's ultimately leading people astray, giving them a false illusion and a false narrative, just like you growing up thinking that what you watching on WWF is real, and you try to go and react that out in real life, and then you realize you're not getting far in life. You try to go to your job and beat your boss up. It's not going to work, bro. You watching that shit that's WWF, bro. That's not real. That's not the real business, This is the real world. You got to be cordial with people. You got to, act like you got some goddamn sense, But this is exactly what's going on with this society, and everybody's wondering why, the people is basically bugging out. The society's running around crazy. It says verse. Let me just finish this out, but nevertheless, because this also ties into it too. It says, and likewise also, Salak, verse 26. For this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, and likewise the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn into their lust one towards another, and men working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves the recompense that was meet, and it going into, again, the instability of their mental state of these people committing suicide after going down this here route, man. All right. But not just this route, all these other routes, because look, you taking the truth of the Most High and turning it into a lie, man. All right. You worshiping the lie more than, the lie and the man that created the lie more than the Most High, who is the truth, man. It says, verse 28, and even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. So now you was given over to a bugged out mind to just do all this bugged out ass shit, man. Wondering, you see these people doing all kind of crazy ass bugged out shit, man. Going more and more and more bugged out, more and more to the far extremes. Just look at these young kids nowadays on the internet doing these crimes and posting it on the internet. You believed into this fake shit. Now you believe in it so much. Now your whole life is on Tekashi 6ix9ine, man. Exactly. It says, being filled with unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do it. You only live once. Go do what you want to go do. Live your own truth. If that's what you want to go do that. But this is what's leading the whole society into just straight chaos, man. Believing all kind of lies and doing all kind of crazy things they want to go do, man. All right? And making people go, people are trying to do challenges and stuff like that to up the next person doing whatever, whatnot, which is causing more and more wickedness. Look, I did this. Now let me outshine you. Let me outshine you by uploading these crazy videos on the internet and trying to compete with each other. But they waxing worse and worse and worse and more wicked, believing that they could just live outside the norms or the laws that the Most High has set up, and we could just do whatever we want to go do, man. Let's just do whatever's in our own heart, the lust of our own heart. And there's no consequences. There's no repercussions. We don't have to take care of no responsibilities. Like these women feel like they can go out here and live like how men live and just sleep with whoever they want, all types, every night of the week or whatever, whatnot, because they have birth control. They can take these pills, Plan B pills, whatever, whatnot, but then think that it's not going to have changes and effects on their body, man. All right, and wondering why they all bugged out for sleeping with all these different men, why they not ever satisfied, why they can't ever find somebody to fall in love with, why no man ever want to respect them, because they done been ran through, man. You can't be ran through like a piece of trash. You can't go get a damn rental car or sell a brand new truck as a fleet vehicle for like the county or some shit. And then after you get done using and abusing that car, try to sell it on a new car lot with a new car smells, make somebody pay full price for a car that's been worn the fuck out, man. All right, but see, this is the society that we live in where people are upholding this here wickedness, man. All right. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Like I said, I was on break real quick at work. But Lord willing, you was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal, Yahawah, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, and taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can push in truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.